Hello friends, welcome back to Carla's Kitchen. Today we're going to do just a quick chicken broth in the crock pot. And what I've got laid out is some bay leaf, poultry seasoning, water, carrot, which is peeled and just cut into big chunks. I've peeled and quartered an onion. And I've got 2 celery stalks, tops and bottoms removed and also cut into large chunks. We're going to strain this at the end, so it behooves you to just leave everything in large chunks so that it strains easily when you're done. Get your biggest crock pot out that you have, and I've also got chicken leftovers, if you will. So I'll link to the video where I showed cooking this, and I only wanted the meat off the chicken thighs. So I've got all of the bones, cartilage, skin, and fat I stuck in a baggie, threw in the freezer. Now I've placed that into the crock pot, and I'm just going to go in with my veggies here and just add them to the crock pot. All the flavors are going to meld. It doesn't matter where they are, etc. I like to do my chicken broth a little generic, and that way when I take it back out to use it at some later date, it's good to go, and I can add any additional seasoning specific to the dish I'm using it for. I'm going to go in with a hearty helping of poultry seasoning just to kick up the poultry flavor a little bit. You can also add salt and pepper if you like. I'm just trying to keep this as a lower salt option, so I'm not adding any salt. I basically 2 bay leaves out, ready to go, and I'm just going to cover everything in the crock with water, plain tap water. You can use filtered if you like. We're basically just going to boil all the goodness out of these leftover bits of chicken and vegetables and have a delicious broth when we're done with everything. So you want to go about up to the top. As this cooks down, some of the water is going to evaporate, so you do want to get closer to the top than I did. My measuring cup just wouldn't hold any extra. So I'm going to top it off just a bit before I kick things off here. Drop your bay leaves in, put your lid on. You can simmer this slow and low overnight is a nice option, and then just put it in before you go to bed, and it's ready in the morning and your house smells delicious as an added bonus. Today I'm doing mine on high because I actually need some of the broth for dinner tonight. So you can also go high on a shorter span if you're doing it on a weekend or you work at home or something like that. You can go high for 4 hours. You can go a little bit longer if you like, but really 8 hours is about as much as you need to go. You can certainly go up to like 12 hours on low if you want to do that. No worries at going a little extra because we're not getting any usable meat out of this. We're just pulling all of the goodness into the water to make a broth. Alrighty, so I'm going to let this get going, and then we'll be back with the next steps once everything is combined. Alright, once you're done boiling or simmering your crock pot, depending on high or low, which setting you went on, and you've got all of the goodness out of the leftover chicken and the vegetables and seasonings you put in there into the water, you want to get out a very large bowl and a fine mesh strainer. Probably going to need to use pot holders for this next step, and it's going to be heavy. Pick up your crock and gently pour it into the strainer as best you can. Go ahead and get as much of that liquid as you can out of the pot, and just let the pieces fall into the strainer. And there you have it. Homemade chicken stock. It's a little chicken, little veggie, but mostly chicken stock. Just kind of shake it a bit, let the excess come out. that can all be discarded. You can pick through and salvage any meat left on the bone if that's what you want to do. But really what we were after today was getting this chicken stock. Now you can use it immediately. You can freeze if you have one of those cool silicone large cube trays. You could fill that up and freeze small cubes. If you're doing like, you know, vegetable saute or something like that, you want to throw some chicken stock in there instead of just butter and oil, that's a great thing. You can can this if you have the equipment for canning. If you don't, you can very easily just put it into a freezer safe bag and put it into the freezer, then thaw it when you're ready to use it if you need like a base for a soup or a stew or something like that. I will tell you this, if you choose to use the baggie in the freezer method, don't just sit the baggie flat on a grated shelf. You put it on a sheet pan until it's frozen, and then you can store it in the freezer with the rest of your frozen items. Otherwise, if you just put it on one of those grated shelves, the liquid will work its way through in the baggie and then freeze to the shelf. So just be mindful of that. You can also let it cool down a little bit more before you throw it into the baggie and put it in the freezer. So there you have it. Something to do if you just pull the meat off the bones and you still have the bones and the skin and such, and you want to do something with that, you'd rather use homemade broth rather than the store-bought that may have some preservatives or other items that you don't want in there, then by all means, give this a go. If you've got a crock pot, you can make it happen. Thanks for watching today, guys. See you soon. Bye-bye.